Sony, what are you doing? What are you doing? I understand you have a new regime over there. Things are going to be changing and we're doing things differently. So maybe this is something from the old regime. But you had a state of play presentation yesterday that it wasn't good. And I don't know why some people are convincing themselves that they liked it. Like, it's okay to not like something, even if you're a diehard Sony pony, because many of the diehard Sony ponies did not like that event. But obviously, there were some highlights. Astrobot was really cool, but there was one game that stuck out like a sore thumb. A game that got the most presentation time out of any other game at this event. So you would think, well, this is the big game. This is the high quality game. This is the game that people are going to be playing for a while and it's going to get high reviews. But it's not, because everyone hates it. Everyone hates this game. And I, of course, am talking about Concord, because who thought to put this at the start of the presentation? So they started off this presentation with this Concord game that we're going to be talking about. And I talked about this in yesterday's video. Go watch it if you haven't. But they start this presentation out with this Concord game, and you look and it's like Temu versions, Wish versions of the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're showing this long cinematic trailer, and you're watching this and you're thinking, at least I was like, oh, well, it's gonna be like a Guardian of the Galaxy style game. That was a really good game. Obviously, that Marvel license probably is what hurt it a lot in terms of having to sell enough units. But, like, I liked that game. I thought that game was really fun. So, like, you steal something, and then, like, some people come into this cafe that you're eating at, and you're like, okay, so it's going to be that style of game. And then after this 6 or so plus minute cinematic trailer, you see the gameplay. And it's a hero shooter, a 5-on-5 hero shooter. Now, as far as I am aware, this was the first time we learned what the game was actually going to be, because the previous trailer just showed like a spaceship with a roast beef sandwich on it. So people thought this was going to be like an action adventure game, you know, a single player sort of thing, maybe a team up with people or whatever the case may be. But I don't think anyone read the room as a 5-on-5 hero shooter game that, I mean, let's be real. While there are success stories in that realm, there are hundreds of dead games that have died because they tried to emulate a style that was prevalent 7+ years ago when Fortnite and Overwatch first came out. And those games were new and they were different. Now, Fortnite's kind of a little bit different, but take a look at Overwatch and you could see so many Overwatch-esque style elements and gameplay elements in this game. This isn't 7 years ago anymore. Nobody's playing these games as they come out, as there's something awesome. But the best thing about this, about Concord, is everyone hates it. Everyone hates this game. And by everyone, I mean there are obviously two very distinct, loud sides in video games right now, where it's, you know, the DEI, sweet baby stuff, we like that, and then there's the anti-woke people. You know, you have me, people don't know what I am because I am nothing. I kind of look at a game on a case-by-case basis to see if the game looks good, and then, you know, if there's something weird about it, I'll say that, like, but I'm not going to assume everything. But this game, I feel like, has brought the two sides together, because this game is obviously pandering to a certain audience. When you look at the character select screen, extremely diverse to the point of, like, you're just kind of throwing darts at a wall. There's pronouns for the characters. Pronouns! And it's like, okay, you know, it's a hero shooter. I'm not really expecting a deep narrative. They did say that they're going to be, like, updating cutscenes and stuff like that. So it's obviously trying to pander at least a bit to that side that likes that kind of stuff, which of course will automatically anger the other side who hates all of that stuff. But it really boils down to the gameplay at the end of the day and how the game looks. And the game looks like ass. I mean, let's just look here at their YouTube trailer for Concord's gameplay. We have 3.2 thousand likes, which I'm sure I'm sure that's a little bit inflated. And 18,000 dislikes. This is a massive ratio. And you can't sit there and say that it's people that are just hating on the game because there's a diverse cast, or they're hating on the game because the characters all have pronouns. I think people are hating on this game because it looks like garbage. And Sony fans, PlayStation 5 owners have been waiting for something exclusive. And this is a console exclusive game. Here's the funny part about this. The game looks like trash, and we don't even know. We don't even know if this game's going to cost money. There is still no definitive answer on whether or not this game is going to cost money. So in my mind, I'm like, they put this out there to see people's reactions, to see if they could charge money. And if people liked it, if people shilled for it, if people said, this looks like the greatest evolution of this type of game, this is Overwatch 3, then maybe they would charge people money for it. But this game is going to get thrown on the PlayStation Plus, I feel. If it wants to have any chance of doing any sort of numbers and having any sort of player base, you cannot charge money for this game. Because you had another hero shooter at your own presentation that looked better. It didn't look great. Marvel Rivals, not a type of game that I am going to play, but that game looked leagues better. And instead of the knockoff, crappy, Wish version of Marvel characters, you have actual Marvel characters in this game. Like, who is this game for? Who is this game for? You're trying to enter a diminishing marketplace. You have characters that you have to create a backstory for, and maybe you thought that you were going to be Overwatch 2, which Overwatch 2 didn't do nearly as well as Overwatch 1, but you were going to be Overwatch-esque and give these characters a backstory and make people love them. But that came out at a time frame when there weren't many games like that. It was new, it was fresh, it was exciting. And this is the problem with the AAA video game industry. Concord completely shows you why the AAA video game industry is in the shitter right now. Because all of these ideas that we're going to start seeing coming to fruition are ideas from 5+ years ago, because it takes so damn long to make these games and create these games and create these characters. And by the time the game is shown, it's a diminishing marketplace. It's a marketplace that it's oversaturated, and people aren't playing these types of games anymore. If you're marketing towards kids, you're not going to beat out Marvel Rivals. They have Marvel characters. If you're pandering to, if your target audience is the progressive audience, they're not going to care, because the game doesn't look interesting. The game doesn't look different than any other type of game in this style. And if you're trying to appeal to the casual gamer by putting it on PlayStation Plus, they're not going to care, because it's an outdated video game model. How do you take a swing at this and miss so bad? Like, this game, it literally looks like one of the most generic things I've ever seen. It doesn't look fun. It's not going to be a success. Point blank, period. I know I have gone on record and said that certain games are not going to be a success. Shout outs to the Sea of Thieves documentary that Rare made using a voice clip of mine saying, hey, I don't think this game is going to be a success. I was wrong. Thank you, Rare, for proving me wrong, because I appreciate that, but I'm not wrong about Concord. This is going to flop. Just like Foam Stars flopped, just like Lawbreakers, and all these, what was the Ubisoft made a game that's dead, Knockout City, EA, dead. People are tired of these games, bro. And the fact that this was a first-party game, one of 2 new first-party titles for Sony at this presentation, what the hell am I excited for this year on my PlayStation 5? Nothing. Besides Astrobot. Astrobot looks fire. Looks very fire. But besides Astrobot, there is nothing appealing. There's nothing. Third-party games. Okay, I can play those on my Xbox. At least Xbox is potentially giving me Avowed. At least Xbox is potentially giving me Indiana frickin' Jones, which looks awesome. But why do I feel like that's going to get screwed up, too? I'm not trying to dunk on PlayStation here. I'm a PlayStation 5 owner. I've had it since day one. I own the PlayStation VR 2 as well. I've given Sony a lot of my money, a lot of my time over the years. But when you throw some game out here that looks like absolute diarrhea, a mishmash of just ideas that don't really blend well together, a generic template plug and play some characters of diversity just for the sake of it, like, you're not appealing to those people because the game sucks. And you're pissing off another group of people. And then people like me who don't really claim a side, we just laugh. We're like, look at this. You completely screwed this up. You've pissed off everyone. And that, my friends, is the best kind of piss off. When you're able to piss off everyone and you're able to make everyone be like, this is BS, man, that's the best. That is the best, because you have just completely screwed up. Let me know in the comment section down below, though. Are you one of the 3,200 people that are excited for Concord? Because I feel like a lot of those are Sony employees and probably some purchased likes, because people do that kind of stuff. You got to balance it out a little bit. Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share the video around, because I'm sure people will be very even. You know, I do think people will be even keel about this because everyone hates it. So I shouldn't get any negative feedback for once. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.